Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially live here, and let the record show that I believe this is truly an exclusive because we have not one, not two, but three powerhouse individuals here on the scene here. And like I said, this is the first. So guess what? You can go ahead and brag and say, wow, Transformation Greatness and SBN, a Small Business Network podcast, is doing the first, doing a new thing. But I like this because I want it to be continuous. Like I mentioned, we have three powerhouse ladies. And this is going to be very, very fun because with all three of these ladies, they all have very powerful stories and powerful brands. And during this month of Women's History Month, you will find out from each and every one their definitions of what it's like to becoming her. And the story is still being written. Come on, somebody. So with
Mm.
that being said, guys, for all of us that's tuning in, if you catch us on the live, put in hashtag live, let us all know where you're tuning in from. And of course, if you catching us on the replay, go ahead and do the same thing. I think you guys know who I am, so it's never about me, but it is about our special ladies here. So first and foremost, I want to introduce as far as to my top right. We have here Miss Miriam Smith Stevens, the CEO of the Thankful Revolution, the one that was waving. So definitely just make sure that you be nice. Down here to the bottom left hand side, we have here Miss Smiling Faces here. But I tell you, she's been a joy and just a great person to get to know. The one and only Mrs. Debbie Jacobs. But last but not least here, we have here down here to the bottom right, we have here someone that truly, like when I had a conversation with her, it was very enlightening. Me and her, it's kind of almost like the same heartbeat, ladies and gentlemen. But you will find out why when she tells of who she is and what she does. The one and only Miss Constant Wells. Ladies, welcome here to the podcast. It is an absolute pleasure. How are each and every single last one of you?
We're doing great, Sean.
Doing great. Thank you so much for having us. And I want to shout out everybody on Facebook. Thanks, Cassandra Pickett for saying hi on Sean's page. We're excited to be here.
Yeah.
Very excited. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity, Sean.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and start this off here with a bang here on a Friday. Just want to, for everybody else that's tuning in, my apologies in advance. I'm working on 3 hours of sleep, but I was not going to cancel this. I was not going to push it back because this right here is history in the making. And of course, you know what I say, it's an exclusive. So let's go ahead and jump in. Ladies, what were your vision for 2026 when the year came in? Anybody can go ahead and start it.
Okay.
Well, okay.
We're all laughing. Okay. Go ahead, Miriam. Go ahead, start it off, girl.
Okay. Well, first of all, we just want to say thank you again, Sean, for allowing us to be a part of your Women's History Month presentation, kicking it off. And for me, God gave me, I'm a believer in the God of the Bible, and He gave me the theme, fix it. I was like, fix what? Just fix it. And so fix it in 2026. And then as the
Mhm.
theme has been developing, it's been fix it in 2026, out with the old and in with the new. And it is a scripture that God always gives me is, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even
Mhm.
as your soul prospers, your mind, your will, and your body. And on my personal journey, I have a lot that I'm working on physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And all of that will allow a wholeness and a circle, a full circle moment, a balance. So that's what I think about fix it. Everybody has something that they want to work on. And so for me, it just keep it simple. Whatever you're working on for that particular day, that particular week, that particular month, just work on that. we're a work in progress. That's what I think. So I'm fixing it in 2026, and everybody who joins the conversation with me and our posse, we doing the same thing.
That's right.
Yes. I
I
guess I'll
pass the mic to my coach Debbie.
Thank you so much, Miriam, and thanks also, Sean, for giving us this opportunity. Really appreciate that beautiful platform. I've got a chance to see some of your work, and I'm really impressed with what you're doing. So, thanks for having us. So, I guess if you think about 2026, my vision for it, and oftentimes when people ask me that question, Sean, immediately I start to think to myself, you know what? I don't know about 2026 and about the vision that I have. What I think about, and it always takes me to this experience. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share a little bit about my history. About 14 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, right? Not once, but twice. And it came at a really high point in my life, in my career. I was in the best shape of my life. I was eating better than most. I was about to start a fitness program for our department. And I was excited about that. I mean, I was ecstatic. I thought, hey, I'm on my way to my vision. I saw myself as being in charge of, directing some physical fitness for the county as a whole. So I was really at the highlight of my career. And then cancer hit. Found out, went to the hospital one day with some chest pains and found out, cancer was there. And it shook me. I mean, literally, the very next year, went and just did a random breast exam and found out I had breast cancer. So those two things really did something to me. And what I decided at that point was not, I wasn't gonna, have necessarily a vision, because every day I think you have to take advantage of every moment. And that's what it made me realize, that I can't wait until, set out my plan for the year, because you can be going about life thinking that, your life is fine. You have a vision for yourself. You see yourself doing something. Then there's something that happens. And for me, it was waking up one morning, literally, and having to go to the hospital and finding out I had cancer when I was in the best shape of my life and I thought I was the healthiest I could be, and you're developing a fitness program. So, what I've learned from that is to take day by day. I really don't focus on the year. It's not a yearly goal for me, it's not a yearly vision, it's a daily vision. So, I think about just steps that I can make built on my faith, which is what got me through that diagnosis. But my faith is also what I use to make those steps every day, not focusing on tomorrow, not focusing on what's going to happen a year from now, but focusing on what's going to happen today. What can I do today to make the best, to make the steps toward the vision that God has given me within myself to make it happen? And then at the end of that, then I let God do the rest.
Well said. Well said. Who else would like to take a stab at that? I like that.
I'll take a stab.
Beautiful opening. Come on,
Love,
man.
yes, I'll take a stab. I love that answer, Debbie. Love your answer, Miriam. Here is my answer. What was my vision for 2026, the beginning of this year? My vision, and I normally don't choose a word for the year, but this year I chose the word abundance. And abundance was given to me. There was a lot of abundance talk the end of last year. And I really was like, really, what does that mean? But that was my word, and that was my vision for this year and moving on in my life beyond this year, but definitely for this year. And it was not just abundance, it's not monetary or materialistic. Those things come with sometimes, but it's more of a mindset, abundance in my mindset, abundance in my spirituality, abundance in my surroundings and the people that I'm around. In Beauty Beyond the Wall LLC, which is my business, abundance in reaching people, abundance in helping people to change their mind so they can live with abundance. So it was abundance, and I can just see abundance happening in my life this year already, and we were only in month 3, right? So abundance is the word that, and is my vision for this year. By the end of the year, I have certain goals, of course, but abundance for the year. And abundance in every area of life, not just one thing, not just the other, but as a whole, making us a whole human, a whole. This woman is becoming abundance.
Amen.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? With all 3 answers, I was just hearing like gratitude and really humility. That was the big thing in which I got from listening to all three of you because based upon, and I got an opportunity to get to know you three. I had a conversation with you, and based upon your credentials, based upon everything that you bring to the table, you could have actually, and I'm actually clearing it off here. I'm about to segue into the second question. You could have really been like egotistical. You could have been like prideful and be like, well, I got this because I got this amount of experience. I got this certain amount of credentials, these certain kind of experiences, and it can be all about me. But yet, from what I heard from all three of you, it's just really humility, and that is huge. That is huge. I want to ask you, ladies, this division from which I heard in each different one of your conversations here. Why does that? Why is it so important? I guess for you, right? Why does it mean so much to you? I guess that's the better word in which I'm looking for.
For me, Sean, um, just to kind of let you know a little bit of my history, the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group LLC was birthed um, in 2008. Actually, it didn't come into manifestation until 2024, but I experienced a harrowing life and death situation and in-home invasion, and my son was away to my alma mater, go Hampton University, woo-hoo-hoo, the real HU. Even though that's a debate between me and my mom and my dad and my brother because they went to Howard. But regardless, um, he was away at school as a freshman, and someone decided to come into my home and uh, physically and other ways assault me to the point of choking me out. Where my last thought was, okay, God, I guess this is what it means to die, literally. And I didn't die. Obviously, I'm here. I'm not a ghost. I am here. God preserved me, but then there was some aftermath I had to deal with. I went through the counselings and all of that. When you are assaulted physically in other ways, you go through some things. You have to weed through fear, regardless if you say you're a person of faith. You know, your healing takes a while, and it may take your entire lifetime, and that's okay. So part of my why and part of why Fix It is so important to me is to give people a voice to say it's okay not to be okay. One, and healing is okay to be at your own pace because that's the grace that God gives us, and to reclaim a voice because I shrunk. You know, I became hermit. Um, I became fearful, and God doesn't give us that spirit. So obviously, I had to do my inner battles, right? So that I wouldn't have a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and of a sound mind. Thank you, Dolce, for logging in, and hello to you as well. So for me, it's important. My parents, my grandma, my mama, they're all teachers. And so I believe in the basics, and I have the 5 R's: reclaim, resuscitate, rewrite, rebound, and renew. All of these things is to get your voice back, to get your mind straight, to rebound from whatever trauma or tragedy or challenge, to know that you can rewrite your story. Your story maybe has some pains in its chapters, but that's not the full identity of you. You're becoming, as the theme is. We're always becoming. Our chapters are always at a continual work in progress. And so that is part of that, so that our voice and our unique individual message is proclaimed, because everybody's important. I don't care who you are, what you've been through, everybody is important. So we need to bring and breathe back life back into everybody, and especially in this day and age, just to remind that we can get it, we can do it, we can support. We don't have to be a negative council culture. There are folks out here that want everybody to win and to thrive. So that's part of me, and that's part of, I know, the ladies that you have on here, and they'll tell you also part of their whys as well.
Outstanding, outstanding, Miss Stevens. Yeah, I love your story, and when me and you spoke, I resonated a lot with that. a lot with that, a lot. I actually resonated with all three of your ladies' story. Believe it or not, as I was listening, I was able to find myself somewhere in the midst of that, right, in some form of fashion, which is very amazing because I think that when people hear somebody else's story, it's like, oh man, well, you know what? I didn't go through that, right? I didn't experience that, right? I mean, yeah, like how can I relate to these ladies here? These ladies got it going on. They're so much light years ahead of me, or Sean is so much light years ahead of me, like I can't even compete. And how I know people are thinking like that, ladies, because in the beginning, I was that person.
Mm-hmm.
I was that person, like, man, what's the use? Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I know I have this here. I know I'm supposed to be, speaking. I know I have a message, a story, a brand, but I don't know. The imposter syndrome was real, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen,
Yeah.
definitely real. And so I love how the way that you ladies just said, you know what? No matter what it looks like, what it feels like, it's going to be uncomfortable. Just like you mentioned, Miss Stevens, you had to do the inner work, right? Because there were some challenges and things. But I love how the way all three of you didn't decide to give up because you could have. And guess what? By the world standards, they have been like, okay, nobody would have blamed you. But for the fact that you was obedient to the calling, that's something that is amazing. And so I'm very, very excited to see the next level in your chapters here. And Cassandra said here, what is your why? I love that. I love that. I love that. So I think you went into that before. And if I asked you that before, I do apologize. But I guess if you want to just expound on that a little bit more, your why?
Is that for Miriam or for all of us?
Any,
Well, I'm gonna
any,
pass the
anyone
mic to
jump in?
Coach, and
Come
to
on,
you,
man.
Debbie, and
Yes.
Constance. Yes.
Well, one of the things that you said, Sean, and I think this is for all of us, is that we know that our voice matters. Your experiences matter. There's so many people that are out there that are dealing with, it doesn't necessarily have to be problems, but just things, just life as a whole. A lot of people feel stuck. A lot of people feel overwhelmed, especially in the times that we live in right now. It's so uncertain for a lot of people. And people need hope. People need to know that somebody understands, what they're going through, what they're feeling. And so this is one of the reasons why we do what we do, because we want to be able to encourage people and help them through their journey of life as a whole. When you just say life, period, helping people through their journey. And one of the things that I think about, especially about our title, which is being her, is first knowing her. So you have to know who you are, have your identity set before you can actually step into being her. And the only way that I can see that we can actually know her, and I truly believe this, is built on the foundation of God's word. God words tells us who we are. And if we can identify with that, then we can truly walk in our purpose. We can do what God called us to do, because outside of that, we could be living that imposter syndrome, right? Because I truly believe that without God, we are kind of lost. We're kind of throwing the spaghetti on the wall to see if it sticks. But when we honor God with our life, when we honor God and we're looking for direction with the decisions that we make, then God is the one that orders those steps. And that's when we know we're in the right place. That's when we truly feel fulfilled and we can walk in the power and the authority um, that God has given us, to do it. So it becomes something that not necessarily easy, because anytime you have a opportunity to speak out or on a platform, sometimes that could be nerving. But you go in faith, right? Because you know that you're going for a purpose and for a reason. And it's not your purpose and your reason, but it's God's. And that's enough to kind of push you forward and carry you on to be able to do the things you need to do. So my why is because I love God's people and I love God and I want to walk in obedience. And being in obedience means that I have to tell my story to let people know that if God can do it for me, he can do it for you. And I'm willing to walk with you through that, because I understand that we need community as well. When we're on our journey, it's not just about us. It's about the people, it's about us together as a family. We're the body of Christ. That's what God says. And so we're supposed to nurture and look after each other. And so that's what we do through our platforms.
Before I pass it and let Miss Constant take over here, because that was powerful, I got a question for you, Mr. Jacobs, and be completely honest. How many TED Talks have you have done in your lifetime?
TED Talks?
Yeah.
I have not done any TED Talks, sir.
Then you're gonna have a conversation about that. Miss Constance, go ahead and take it away, ma'am.
I want to know about my why and why my vision is so important. But my why, I'm going to go back, but I wind it back a little bit as well. I come from a career in criminal justice. I worked almost 35 years in the criminal justice system, ending as a senior adult probation officer. So I dealt with people all the time. I always helped people live the life that they should live. I've always done that. And during all that time, I wasn't looking at myself. I identified with my job. And I'm sure many of us people, especially that it's Women's History Month, many of us women really identify with the roles we play, be it our employment, motherhood, sister, daughter, whatever. We identify. We don't really look at who we really are. So I did not. I identified I was a mother. I became a grandmother while I was working, but I also was an employee, and I worked with people who were hurting in the worst spaces in life. I worked with those people, not just my clients, but their families. So I was always working with that. But Constance, she was empty. She would come home and just be depressed and sad and empty. So she used her work, and I'm talking about me in third person, which is funny, but anyway, she used her work to hide and to become who she thought she was supposed to be. Fast forward, I retired. And it was, like I said, almost 35 years in that career. And I was used to spending hours there. I retired. And then I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what my purpose was. Now, mind you, I've been in church all my life. My late brother was one of my pastors, the first one that really taught me about teaching the word of God. So I've been in these atmospheres all my life, but it doesn't matter. What I'm saying this for is that it doesn't matter what that outside looks like, because what's inside is what matters. You don't know what that person might be going through. So I came home, and the first Monday after my retirement, I just sat. I didn't really know what to do. And I felt so empty. I felt like a part of me was ripped, and I didn't know what to do with it. So from that time period, I ended up really studying, really getting into who I was. I felt like I was in a group, and I learned so much about myself. I felt like I'd worked harder than I did in college in this group to really find out who Constance is, what God wants for Constance, where she's going to go. And at that point, I knew it was my mind, my mindset, my mind. I was thinking scarcity. I was thinking lack. I was thinking doubt. And I had done this my whole life. So when I started flipping that script, I went into the rooms of my mind, and I started bringing out baggage, old stuff that I've been holding on to for years. I started bringing that out and tossing it and replacing it with something powerful, something sustainable, something that God gave me. And so then the phrase beauty behind the wall came to me. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to name my business that. It's going to be beauty behind the wall. And it's going to help women to deal with those issues. But then God said, no, again. No, it's beauty beyond the wall. You must go beyond that wall to help people. Those bricks are limiting beliefs. Those are doubt. Those are, I can't, it's never worked for me. Those are the bricks that build that wall up that we hide behind. Some of us peek over it, but we hide behind that. So I decided Beauty Beyond the Wall, LLC, and that is my business. And the Mindset Reset Foundation is what it sits on, the Mindset Reset. And the first thing in that Mindset Reset is to be aware. It's called a thought break, but it's to become aware of where you are, where you're standing, where you're sitting, where your mind is, what you're thinking. And that way, once you become aware, you can start to change that inner dialogue. Change those thoughts, change that inner dialogue. My tagline is changing lives one thought at a time. Change that inner dialogue. If it's just one little thought, one little move, always moving forward. Faith is an action word. We can't just say we have faith that's going to change and sit there. We've got to move. We've got to do something. So change that little dialogue. Let's start tearing those bricks down. Let's start walking out beyond that wall, because there's someone beyond that wall that you need to help too. So that's just the premise of Beauty Beyond the Wall, and sort of a short life story of my why. People looked at me on the outside and thought, oh, she's got it all together. They didn't know there was a torn up woman in there. This woman is now becoming who she's supposed to be. And I'll be becoming every single day. Every single day, I'm going to be becoming her. I'm going to be becoming her. I am changing as we speak. Change is the point. Change is the point.
Amen.
Hey, man, you know what? I'm enjoying this segment here with Miss Stevens. Take it away. Your why, ma'am.
Um, as I said before, my why was birthed out of my life and death situation where I actually had to fight off the attacker. And I know it was only God's divine intervention that I'm here today and I'm not dead. Because literally, he choked me out and did other things, and I thought I was going to die that day. So my why has been brewing for a long time, since 2008 in October when the attack occurred. And then as we all may, well, some of us are now experiencing job loss. In 2024, I lost my job. Although I have been blogging and writing, I'm an avid writer and a creative person. Um, God, I had thought of the Thankful Revolution then, but in 2024, after I lost my job, it became prevalent in my mind to go ahead and just do this thing. Now, a lot of us may think, okay, you got to have a plan of action and all. No, I just do it. I felt like Abraham, just go. Like God was like God ordained to go, to just walk out, launch out in faith. And so the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group LLC was birthed in 2024. And so we're new in as a company, and part of our mission is to help people get through their crisis. I have a CPR plus now. I am called the brand paramedic and soul song conductor. Why? Because I have a background in the marketing and all of that. Like you said, the credentials, it really doesn't matter. I have lived this thing. So that's my breath. That's what I breathe. That's what I live. I want people to be revived, to know that what, whatever you've gone through, you are not dead yet. You still have a voice. You still matter. And if you need somebody to help you, encourage you and pull you up out of that flatlining situation, I'm here for you. So the brand paramedic in that sense is helping with that. And then the soul song conductor, and my ladies can attest to, the power of technology has allowed me to thrive in my passion and my purpose, which is helping create songs that really speak to your life and your journey. And so I've done that for both of these ladies here, and maybe you might want one too. And so that helps, just the story that's always becoming. I put it in a musical way because that speaks to me. Music in my most desperate time, when I live in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and in my recovery and what I call my aftermath of hell, when I was working, I had to drive across this bridge. And every day I had to speak to myself and sing to myself not to drive off the bridge. And this is real because people are struggling. Let's be real with it. We may say we're people of faith, but come on. People of faith are shooting themselves every day, are hanging themselves every day, are shooting up drugs every day. We got to be real with it. And that's the message of the Thankful Revolution. I want us to have life and life more abundantly. Put the F back in life, because if you take the F out of it, then you're living a lie. But if you put the F back in, you got some faith, you got a foundation, you've got the fathers backing you, you got some friendships, some communities. And that's what the enemy And negativity wants is to delude that, is to deceive us that we can't have life anymore. That okay, we hit it. We're damaged goods. Nah, I negate that. I put the F back in so that we don't have to live a lie anymore. And that's the thankful revolution. That's part of our mission. That's part of giving you voice and breathing back and learning how to do that again. And so thank you. That's part of my why. I can keep talking, y'all. You got a bunch of ladies up here and we some talkers. So I'll try to be courteous of everybody on this platform.
Oh.
But check me out. Every month we all on the platform giving voice to people. You've been on it this past month, Sean, giving voice to people who have a message. And this year we're fixing it.
Yeah.
Whatever that it is, whatever your message is, I don't care what it is. There's something in you that you've been waiting and wanting to share. It's
Mhm.
been gnawing at you. Do not allow the lie to delude you, to deceive you, to keep you down.
Mhm.
All of us have struggled. We're all in our different stages of becoming, but that's the beauty of it. We're becoming and we always will become.
Mhm.
And so will you. And that's why we're here today to remind you you're important. And I need you. I need to hear your story. I need to hear your word.
Absolutely. That's beautiful, Miriam. I love that.
Mhm.
I
That
want to
is.
say one thing real quick. We are here to change our lives one thought at a time. We are here to just that one little tick, the one thing you might not think is that important. It is, because you're moving forward. And that one little thought change, it could just be one thing, but that one change is going to lead to more changes. I know Miriam was talking about life and lie. I love that, because without that F, it is a lie.
Mhm.
But our life is life, and it's meant to be lived, and we're meant to live it in the person who we are supposed to be. I know for myself, I was always so shy, so quiet, so unsure. There was so much people that know me now or have met me now did not know the old me, or they knew the old me and they don't know me now. Because I tell people that all the time. They used to call me, now my name is Constance, but I was called Connie most of my life. And they used to call me Connie, Connie, Connie. I used to hate when they'd say it like that, but they would call me Connie, Connie. And I was Connie all through my career, everything. But now I refer to myself as my real name, Constance. And I tell people, you don't know Constance. She's a brand new creature. She's a brand new person. She is changed by what? The renewing of her mind.
Mhm.
So that right there.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing history here as we have three queens that's a part of Becoming Her. The story is not yet written, I believe. If I misquoted that, I apologize. Here on Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, the Small Business Network podcast. This is episode 602. And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. If you think that this is out of all the podcasts I had the opportunity to do of interviewing just amazing individuals, if you believe this is top three, go ahead and put your comments in. If you believe that this is the best one, I want to hear it. And by the way, if you have questions for these queens as well, please definitely go ahead and do so, because I'm just hearing greatness all through. I definitely see through each and every single last one of you are doing stages. That's why I asked you, Mrs. Jacobs, have you ever done a TEDx talk? Because I definitely see you as far as on the stage. All three of you actually doing a TEDx talk. And the main thing I'm hearing is conviction. I'm hearing clarity. I'm
Mhm.
hearing certainty. But I'm hearing just obedience. Like, you know what, Lord, if this is for me, and it is, send me, I'll go.
Mhm.
Don't care as far as what it looks like.
That's right.
It's the how it's done in my business. You even said that I can do it afraid, absolutely terrified.
Yes.
But guess what? By the end of the day, I got to do it.
Yes.
So,
That
Sean,
right there is give me 1 second here. That right there is a mindset shift, ladies and gentlemen. And for those that know me personally, know my story and what I went through.
Mhm.
So when I say things, I don't say it because it sounds good. I don't say it because I heard somebody else say it. I say it from my own personal experience, just like what these ladies have mentioned to you as well. And with that, I'm just gonna just be silent for a second. I think somebody had a question for me or wanted to say something.
Let's see, Cassandra, you asked to repeat the R's, and I put it in the chat. Renewing our minds. It's a rebirthing and a rebounding back from whatever the challenges or situations you face. To reclaim our voice, to know that our story is very important, that we matter, and to resuscitate our lives. Whatever was dead, whatever has flatlined, whatever your hopes and dreams are, they may have been dusty or put away, or maybe you thought, hey, you're just going to live 70 years and that's it. Nothing spectacular, but baby, we're here to remind you that all of us have a unique voice that is necessary for such a time as this, and then we can go ahead and rewrite our story. Our story does not have to just be we had pain, we had tragedy, we had identity crisis, we had illness that could have been grave. Our story is we're becoming and we're here now, and we can keep moving. As long as you got breath in your body, you're important, and what you have to say matters. And that's what we're here to remind us, that we matter, that God put breath in our bodies so that we can speak, we can share, we can testify, we can witness. That's the only way that we can be overcomers, is that we share one another and we uplift. We're here to edify and uplift, not tear down. I've Part of my background is in media and branding. Well, the news is always 9 times out of 10 negative. That's not us. You got people here that want to uplift and encourage and give edification. And that's why we're becoming not only her story, but his story too,
Mhm.
and that's why we're becoming, because the story is still ongoing, it's still being written. You still can have victory and live. You can put the V back and forget the lie. You can have your voice back. You can put the F back and have life, have faith, have fellowship, have friendships, have a foundation. So those are some of the things that the R's are.
Mhm.
I hope that answered your question, Cassandra.
You know what I love too? Because man, like just putting in that time and motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. And by the way, I absolutely love that. I would do this all day long, and I wouldn't trade it for a day in the world. But you know what's even more better than that, ladies? To sit back and just to really be a student and just to glean from all this goodness that you ladies have been speaking on. It's a beautiful thing. It's a really a beautiful thing. So I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. I was thinking about something, and I want to ask you ladies this because obviously all you are entrepreneurs, and I want to ask you from when you first started up until about now, where have you seen your level of maturation and development as you becoming her during this whole entire journey process? Can you share that with the listening audience if you don't mind, if you haven't already, which I think you did?
Yes. Actually, I guess I can answer that one. From where I was to where I am now and seeing the transformation, the changes, the growth in my life, uh, I started out kind of uncomfortable with speaking in front of people. That was something and that would be a surprise to most people that know me because I talk all the time. Okay. So most people that know me would be totally surprised that I made that statement. But it's a different atmosphere when you're speaking about something that's so important to you. It's so you know that this is actually going to change lives. It's going to shape and mold people into becoming what they want to become, whatever God has placed in them to become. So you know how important it is, so you want to get it right. So when you're speaking, you sometimes it's a little uncomfortable in a platform, but I'm so thankful that through this process I have started with co-writing a book. Okay, that's one thing I started doing That was the first project that I had. And it inspired me to go on and write my own book, which is Greater Within, which is going to be coming out soon. Hopefully by my birthday time, which is next month. But it's definitely finished now. So it's in the process of going through the editing and all that kind of stuff. But I'm excited about that. And that's part of what my journey has brought me to get to a place where now I can step out and get bolder. And I think that's where I want to encourage others too. And stepping out and making those small steps, coming on speaking in front of people, whatever your thing is that you're sometimes afraid of, but stepping out and actually challenge yourself to do something that you haven't done before or something that you may be uncomfortable with, but continuing to do that on a daily basis, like I mentioned earlier, every day choosing to make a decision to step out on something that you're extremely passionate about. And eventually you'll start to grow and progress from that. So again, for me, it is about stepping out with small things that I was totally uncomfortable with, to building to the point where now not only can I talk about it, I can write about it and I can tell you all about it, so I'm in a different space. And it's all a growth process. And I think it's very important that we allow ourselves to make those daily changes, which we create as far as habits that I can say habits that we can make each and every day to develop ourselves into what God has created us to be.
I love that, Debbie.
What's that? Come on,
Yeah.
man. Come on. It's fire. Come on, man.
Yes. So a little bit about my story. How this has changed me, how even I'm a brand new entrepreneur. My business just started last September. So I'm like spanking brand new as far as the business front. But let me go back a little bit again. After I retired, I just, like I said, didn't really know what to do, started working on self. And then I had a coach. And I will tell you all, I will not go probably another day in my life without having some kind of a life coach, because that is so important. It's just somebody to bounce ideas off of, someone who can encourage you and keep you going. So my coach at the time challenged me to talk online on Facebook, because that's my major online presence. On Facebook, he challenged me to get on there every day for the next 14 days. And I'm looking like, wait, what? Get on there at least 5 minutes, just talk about something, because talk about what you're learning, what you're doing. So I was like, okay, I did it. But the first 14 days were some of the most difficult 14 days. I was nervous coming into it. I was like, oh Lord, I got to figure out what to say. I would record a 5-minute segment about 20, 30 times before I put it up there, 3 to 5 minutes. And I would record over and over and over. If I messed up a word, I record it again. I didn't want to make any hand motions. I was trying to keep myself still. It was a bit ridiculous. When I look back at it now, I laugh, but that was a place of growth, because that started. In the next 14 days, do it again. I'm like, oh, Jesus, I did it 14 more days. Then the next time, how about you go on there live? I'm like, live? Wait a minute. So that was something so hard for me, even though I worked in the courts and I would talk in court, talk to judges, talk to my defendants, I still did not have confidence in me. People that know me, people that knew me knew, but most people didn't know me because I didn't let people get close. So just being able to speak right now in public, I've been on since even before my business, but I've been on several platforms, speaking several times to youth, to women, to men, to mix, international platforms. I've been on several, and that was something that I would have never, I was just telling my sisters the other night, I would have never thought I'd be here at this point in my life. I would have never thought I'd be talking and sharing. I would have never thought Beauty Beyond the Wall would be birthed. And I would never thought the Mindset Reset framework is something that has absolutely worked for me. The first thing is a thought break. You need to step back and become aware. See where you are. See if you're thinking suffering thoughts or powerful thoughts. See where you are at this moment. And I do thought breaks every single day, several times a day, actually, but every single day. After you do your thought break, you see where you are, then you can shift. If you're in a suffering state, you can now shift it into a positive, powerful state. So this is something, like I said, you can do this over and over again every day. Once you do that shift, you decide to go ahead and you'll make the change. You're going to make that change. Now that you've shifted your thinking, you're going to go ahead and make that a change in your thought pattern. And your final part is you are becoming then empowered. Because this is a process that we do over and over every day, we can take a thought break as many times as we need to a day. That's the becoming aware part. And Debbie said something that I always say, do it scared. I did it scared. Do it scared. Do it imperfect. Do it when you don't know what you're doing. Do it when you flub up words and you're thinking, oh God, I messed that up, because I've done that a lot. But now that I don't really care, I will correct a word right in the middle of when I'm talking. It doesn't matter. I'll go back over a whole sentence and redo it right live Facebook or wherever I am. Do it scared. Do it. Just do it. Make small steps. Momentum builds momentum. You got to move to move. Momentum, if you sit still, you die. We want to live. Momentum builds momentum. So do it. And so my whole thing is, I was this shy little person that was small. I think Miriam mentioned not wanting to take up space. Now I want to fill every room I step into. I am going to be doing the Sean Fair Leadership Experience Tour later this year, and talk about some fear trying to jump on me when I said the yes. And I'm like, oh Lord, I'm going to be speaking in front of this live stage with all this stuff. But you know what? I can do it because of the mindset. I don't know the how yet. Y'all, really, I don't know the how. I'm not kidding. I really don't know the how, but I'm going to do it. And I will have a victorious story to tell afterwards. Probably a lot of funny stories too. But it's just the growth in me that is astounding to those who know me, probably more astounding to myself. So just thank you for this opportunity, Sean. I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Miss Stevens, you can't be outdone. Come on now. Come with it now, Miss Stevens. Come
What's the
on.
question? What's the question? I've been talking to the folks on Facebook Live on your page. What's the
Thank you for
No,
that,
question?
Miriam,
no,
that you're
no, I
responding
see.
to them.
Well, some people asked about if we had books. I mentioned that I'm a part of a book anthology. One of my besties, and this is reverse, but one of my besties in Hampton University, she is the CEO of Divine Concept Group, a nonprofit group that I've been a part of since its inception, encouraged me to write. And I'm a writer anyway. I mean, I've been a writer since I've been a baby, I guess, since I could have a pen. So I wrote that story, and that's part of the therapies. Whatever it takes for you to heal. Some people mow lawns, some people wash dishes, some people like to sew. My grandma Me, I was named after my mother's mom. She was a wonderful sewer. Um, you know, I like to write, I like to create words and songs and images, whether it's through a visual story or whether it's helping you with a marketing campaign, whatever. That's part of my why, part of my getting breath back in my body. Because I'm gonna tell y'all, I didn't learn how to breathe again one day after that situation happened. It's a continual process. And life is a continual process of getting you punched out. you know Here I was getting back in the groove of things, living my life, getting back to the place prior to the attack, and then boom, let go again. What the world? And then it's like I'm 60 now. Well, I'm supposed to be living my best life in retirement, living it in luxury, and I gotta start over. Come on, God. Really? I mean, let's get real with it, folks. That's why we're here. We're not sugarcoating life. Life happens, it hits you in the gut, and you cry, you go through, you get those diagnoses, you get them homelessness situation, which I've been through, you get the abuse situation I've been through. All of these things have happened. And people are looking for answers. That's why we're here. Yeah, we can write it in a book, but we're living testimonies. We're here. We're breathing right now. As long as we got breath in our bodies, we will be here for you. We will be here to give you the strategies, the tools, the techniques to get you through the stuckness that life can present. And so that's part of my why. Yeah, I have the 5 R's. I got a lot of frameworks and all that. If you just want to have a conversation, hit me up I'm not one of them little stuck up folks. You can't hit me up on the DMs and then I got a bot that answers for you now. Go ahead, hit me up on the DM. I'm not saying that AI is not the way to go because I love AI. I am a chat GPT queen. My girls know. However, I'm flesh and blood right now. While I have breath in my body, I am so thankful. That's why the Thankful Revolution was born. I'm so grateful because God told me after I, got through my mess and my own personal apocalypse from hell, He was like, "Look, I get it. I know you going through. I know you feeling some kind of way, but look, I never left you or forsook you. I got you. To know that you're gotten by somebody, to know that somebody cares for you, that's my message. You're gotten. God loves you. We love you. We're not just here on a Friday evening where we could be out anywhere and doing whatever. We're here to say you are loved, you are important. Don't give up. And if you need us, we're here for you. We got life lessons we want to share. And you got life lessons, share with us. That's what we're here for. So, yeah. So I put on your Facebook Live if people want to speak at one of my monthly virtual victory parties and fireside chat. Fill out the form. Let's have a conversation. Even if you don't want to speak, you want to connect with me, fine. Fill out the form. We got to connect some way, so fill out the form so that we can talk and have a conversation or hit me up on a DM. All of us are available. We're not just here on a Zoom screen or StreamYard screen, in whatever parts of the world, just as, people that can't be touched or felt. Nah, we're here because right now you're important
Yes.
and we want you to know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Miriam, I think we all should say, yes, I'm so glad you said that. Reach out to us by all means. Reach out to me on Facebook. You can DM me, look for me at Constance Wills or A Moment with Constance, two separate pages,
Mhm.
Constance Wills, or you can email me at contact@beautybeyondthewall.com. You can contact me there, or Constance Wills. Probably the quickest way is through Facebook, Constance Wills. Also, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm even on Snapchat, y'all, so you can reach me at
Right.
almost any social media outlet. But I will be glad to talk with you. I will be glad to take you through the mindset reset framework, because if there's one little thing that you think, I just can't do this, I can't get it, I can help you, and we can work to get out of that spot. We can work to move forward, and we can work to move forward without knowing the how. We
Mhm.
just have to do it.
Mr. Jacobs.
Okay. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, the listening audience would love to know how they can get a
How
hold
to
of you.
contact you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, yes, you can contact me on my email address. It's jacobsdebbie14@gmail.com. And I, of course, also have a Facebook page. It's at Debbie J at Perfect Builder. I also am on Instagram. No, I'm on Instagram, but I don't post my encouragement on Instagram. I'm on, what is it, TikTok. I'm on TikTok. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Ladies and
And I
gentlemen, I
really
don't know.
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah, I'm sorry. You were saying?
I didn't really tell you how to contact me. I just said reach me. So my website is the thankfulrevolutionlegacygroup.com. I am on Facebook. If you see my name, Miriam S. Stevens or Miriam Smith Stevens, MiriamSmithStevens. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I I do TikTok, but not really that much. I tried to Snapchat, but that was a failed effort. Um, I do LinkedIn. Reach me out there. My email is a long one, so booger everybody's on my case about it, but hey, that's me. Information at the Thankful Revolution Legacy Group, LLC.com. Yeah, I said it. I did it. I put the whole thing up in there. So hit me up. Just
Yeah.
that's what we're here. We're approachable. You have a resource. You've been nagging. You logged in for this conversation with Sean and the three queens for a reason. It's been nagging at you. You got something was said today that is just like, thanks. I really needed that. Even if you're not a person of faith or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're
Okay.
in this human race for a reason. You still breathing
Exactly.
for a reason. We're here. We're resources. You're
Mm-hmm.
resources for us. We're the catalyst for change. Come on, people. Let's
Yeah.
stop. Let's stop not doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go. Let's
Yeah.
just do it. Whether it's messy or not, it doesn't matter because each step gets better. Each step. Just take a step. And we want to be that step with you. Okay?
Right.
So
Also,
hit us up.
also, I'm on LinkedIn as well. So it's Debbie Jacobs on LinkedIn. So you can reach out to me there.
Excellent. I've been seeing so much engagement that you ladies all been getting from everyone. And as always, I appreciate as far as well, or everybody in the listening audience. I mean, just so much just great comments. I didn't really see any questions, which is totally fine, but just the engagement alone has just been absolutely incredible. And for me, when I do this, it's an honor and a privilege first and foremost. And secondly, just to be able to show my level of just being a servant pretty much, right? But for those that know me personally, I really don't care about labels and I don't care about accolades and all that other stuff. I can really care less. But when I do these podcasts, whether individually or whether I'm interviewing someone, my goal is always, and I'm always thinking in my spirit, in the back of my mind, if one person can benefit from
Yes.
the content that's being presented, then guess what? It was all worth it. It was all worth us being on here for 56 minutes and 20 seconds, you might as well say. And so this has been truly, truly amazing. I just want to just close this out here because we're getting close to the 1 hour mark. I want to ask each one of you a question, something which I like to do on my podcast every now and then. It's almost like a devil's advocate, if you will. So listen to me, right? Or just hear me out. There's individuals that's going to be watching this now, a few minutes later, in the near future, and they're going to be like, wow, you know what? With Miss Stevens, I mean, Mariam, like, I get it. Like, I totally resonate and I dig where she's coming from. And I'm feeling her mission and her passion. I'm like, I'm loving it. There's gonna be others that's gonna say, "Man, with Constance, like, man, that is a beautiful thing, coming from your background and you're still new in this entrepreneurial journey, but you're willing to answer a call and say yes, and you just got an amazing glow and energy and radiance about you. Like, man, I'm loving you." And then with Mrs. Jacobs, like just being so, precise and calculated as far as with her words, but yeah, you can still see the passion and the love and the care that she has for individuals. And people are going to say yes to you, Mrs. Jacobs. There's going to be people that's going to say yes to all three of you ladies because all three of you done tore the house down, in my opinion. It's pretty much a mic drop. But then there's going to be others that's always going to think, you know what? That sounds great, but I don't think I can even get to that level where these ladies is at, right? I don't have the connections. I don't have the credentials. I understand, Mary, you said it's ain't really about the credentials, but girl, I ain't got the credentials, okay? I ain't got the cachet that you ladies got, and I just don't know. Like I know I'm supposed to be doing something, right? But I just don't know what, but yeah, I don't think I can even get to you ladies level because y'all on another level. I can't even reach you guys, and I got all this going on here and this and that and blah 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 blah. My question for each one of you ladies, I'm gonna start with Miss Stevens first. If that individual, man or woman, were in your office with that type of response, what would you say to them?
I'm a living witness. Um, it doesn't really matter in the sense of what you think right now because the whole message is about becoming. So we all have to start somewhere. I'm becoming. I'm on my weight loss journey. I'm on my fitness journey. I haven't got there. I haven't arrived yet. I am at a starting point. and it's okay. I would always say it's okay not to be okay. It's not about the paper that I might have, or the degrees, or the life, or the longevity of being in a career, or having a coach certification. It's about, who are you? Why are you here? Your uniqueness. And if you got breath in your body, then you're necessary. You're valid. You're valuable. You're supposed to be sharing. And that's what I would say. I don't care about what you think you don't, because we've already dispelled the lie and the liar. The enemy, whatever belief system that you believe in, only wants us to fail. Come on. When we're on a highway, what do? The first thing we're going to rubberneck to is an accident, a tragedy. But we're not here for that. I'm not here for your tragedy, even though tragedy may be a part of our story. I'm here for your triumph. I'm here to let you know that you can have a pivot to get to a different trajectory in your life. And you're listening because something in you knows that you want that too. So if you want to take a chance, fine. And even if you fail in what you think, quote unquote, fail is, it's okay. Get up. Get up and let's do it again. Who is going to be successful? We're on internet. Why? Because people failed many times before they got to a place that we could have a virtual conversation. Come on. Let's get real. I might have some tough love sometimes. That's a little bit of my nature. But
Mhm.
the part of it is love. That's the main thing. That you are loved and valued and necessary for such a time as this.
Mhm.
Mm. Miss Wells, come on.
Someone's sitting in front of me and they are like, you can do this, but not me. You know, the first thing I'm going to let them know is you're here. You're aware that there's something in you that you want to change. So that awareness step is the first step. Again, we don't have to know the how. We don't have to think that far in advance. Just the fact that you're here and aware that there's something that you're just not feeling about whatever you're living, or what, or your life, or your mindset, whatever it might be. You are here. So we're going to talk about that awareness that you're here and how important that is. That's the only way we can make a change. The only way is that thought break and awareness. That's before the shift and the empowerment. They might not be ready to shift yet. That's okay. That's the harder part. The harder part is the shifting. Shifting those limiting beliefs, those thoughts, those bricks that are telling us we can't do this. I can never do that. I was there. I had a successful career and I was living right there. So let me tell you, when you are aware, when you become aware, that's half the battle right there. We're moving then. We're moving. So I would say awareness. Thank you. You're here. You're aware. Let's work through this.
Mic drop number 2. Come on now, Mrs. Jenkins. Come
Look,
on. Come on.
look. The first
Mhm.
thing I thought about was I hate bullies. Okay. And the enemy's a big one
Mm,
because he is going to always try and kill, steal, and destroy the dream that or the vision that God has placed in you, right? That's his job. He's on his job 24/7. And we all know that. But the other thing I thought about was, you don't know me. I just look like this. Okay. I haven't always been here. Okay. This is a person that had insecurities, that didn't feel worthy, that was told the same lies you being told right now.
yeah.
I was told the same lies. And trust me, I bought into it for a while. I made decisions and mistakes and all kind of stuff that happened throughout my life that got me caught up. Okay. And those decisions tried to make me even look at those and say, you know what, you are not worthy. But then I had to decide one day, you know what? based on that word of God. And what he said was, he says, Debbie, the race ain't given to the swift or the strong, or those that endure, but those that
Right.
endure to the end. So that means I
Right.
had to keep moving, keep going, regardless of what the enemy was trying to throw up in my face, regardless of him nagging and always in my ear. I had to just keep it moving. Okay, no, I'm not the best. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the most perfect. I'm not the most educated, but I am the one that's going to keep going. I'm not going to stop. He says he hasn't given me a spirit of fear. Guess what? I bought into that. He said, I'm going to give you power. You have power, love, and a sound mind. So I claim all that. I take all that. And I love God's word because it tells us who we are. It tells us our authority on how we can stand on the promises that he has made for our lives. If we stand on that, then we can continue to this journey and continue to make it through. And the one thing that and what my book is about is greater within, because he says that there's a greatness in us. And for me, it's about discovering that greatness each and every day. And one of the things I wanted to say too, in the process of writing my book, I'm learning even still a lot about myself because I'm putting it to words. I mean, it's something that I can read for myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I did experience that. This did bring me from where I was to where I am now. So it's always a journey, but the most important thing is truly to stay in the race. And don't run nobody else's race. Run yours. That's the problem with a lot of us because sometimes we're in our race and we look into the left or to the right to see what somebody else is doing. And then we try to mimic what they're doing, and then we get all caught up. We end up losing the race because our mind's somewhere else. It's not where it's supposed to be. But we're supposed to stay in our lane. Focus on our race. Look at our prize because there's a prize at the end if you just stick with it. Don't give up. Don't quit. Just keep on moving. That's all I got to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first here from three powerhouse, internationally known speakers. I would say, forget about speakers. Let's go with change agents. I like that better for them, change
Okay.
agents, because that's what it's all about, being a change agent. This has been a history in the making here with Transformation Greatness, along with SBN, a small business network podcast. You have listened to episode 602. Do me a favor, if you will. Please like, follow, and share this out. Get in contact with each and every single last one of these queens. They have some amazing, I would say, courses, programs. Believe me, you can definitely learn and benefit from them. Absolutely. If you are an event coordinator and you're looking for speakers, I'm talking about powerhouse, truly authentic, real, raw, but they're going to bring so much value to your speaking event. You ain't got to look no further. You ain't even got to scour the internet. Stop. You're wasting your time here. These three ladies right here, they got you. But under one condition, you got to make them the headliner. If you're not going to make them the headliner, don't get in contact with them. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, but this has been amazing, and I appreciate it truly, ladies. Once again, you have definitely carried this show, and I'm just very excited to see as far as on what's next for you all in 2026. I truly appreciate that. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, then may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Also, if you are looking as far as to be interviewed by yours truly, feel free to get in contact with me. Plan on something for the month of April. I don't know the title yet, but it's going to be good. I would just say that. So if you're interested, please feel free to reach out to me. Peace and love, family. I'm gone. I'm tired. I thank you all for hanging out with us. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Dee.
Good
Thank
night.
you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dee.